Hi everybody, it's James Braithwaite here at Yorkville Physiotherapy in downtown Toronto, and today we're going to talk about golfing a little bit, which is entirely appropriate this time of year. It's getting towards the end of the summer. Some people might say the end of the summer. I wouldn't be one of those people. In my books, early September is still definitely summer. So it's getting the end part of that summer. People have been playing golf for a couple of months, three or 4 months now, and some of those injuries are starting to come out. Things like the golfer's elbow and the forearm, maybe some wrist issues. But today we're going to talk about back. And the issue with back pain, low back pain in golf, typically stems from low back position at the end of range in your backswing. And the issue typically is with extension and side flexion to compensate for a lack of trunk rotation, right? In that swing, we need to get a lot of trunk rotation, and if you don't have that trunk rotation, you will try to compensate for it by side bending and extending to get just that little bit of extra torque through your trunk. The problem with that type of position, that side bending and extending through the low back, is that it will close down on the facet joints in your spine, which, if done repeatedly, causes a lot of compression pain. You can just imagine if you're just compressing down on all those joints that connect the vertebra of your spine like you do in this side bent extended position, it just creates way too much load bearing through those joint surfaces, and that compression will cause pain. And then send people into my office, which keeps me in business but is no good for anyone who likes to play golf. So one of the things that we really try to encourage is just keeping two things. One, make sure that you're keeping out of that side bend extended position, which is something that if you're mindful of in your backswing, you can adjust. But secondly, it's about working on developing rotations through the upper back, which is where we get better ability to rotate between vertebra. So one of the exercises that you can do is sit first, right? Grab a stick or a broom handle or what have you. In my case, I've got like a weighted bar here. It doesn't really matter what you have. Just bring the bar into sort of a front squat type rack here. And what you're trying to do is rotate through the trunk such that the stick is pointing as far forward as you can make it. If I can imagine that there was a pole right in front of me, in an ideal world, I'd like to have my bar touch that pole, that imaginary pole that I have here right now. So I'm getting about 80 degrees of rotation there. You should be able to get pretty stinking close to 90 degrees. You should be able to touch that imaginary pole that's in front of you with your stick. One way that you can test this is to actually get into a door jamb, right? So here I am. Come on over here, Waffle. Let's try this together. I'm going to just sit cross-legged. I'm going to get into my front rack position with my bar. I'm going to try to rotate, and you can see that I actually need to do some work on this in this direction. I could generate some more torque through my rotation here, right? So try that. Get yourself a stick, sit in front of your door jamb, and see if you're able to rotate through your upper back enough to touch the bar to the door. It should be done sitting down though. The reason for that is if you're rotating and you're not stabilizing the pelvis by having it in a seated position, all of your rotation will come from the hips and pelvis, right? So I'll just be doing that, which is valid. I mean, we like that. In golf, you're going to have some rotations through the pelvis, but this exercise is to generate rotations through the upper back, right? So that's why we sit, to stabilize the pelvis and avoid your ability to rotate through the pelvis and generating that rotation. So try that trick. Try to see if you can get that nice 90-degree turn from seated. See how you do? Work on that as an exercise. You can take that rotation into an exercise that you can do at home in the gym on the golf course. And then again, remember to try and avoid that side bend extension compensation at the end of your backswing when you're golfing. It can really help you to avoid that low back pain in the late stages of summer. If you have questions about this or anything else, you know to get me. My email or by phone, it's all on the Contact Me page here on the website. James Braithwaite at Yorkville Physiotherapy.